Big news, Adam, that we need to go to in Indy. Anthony Richardson is the quarterback there again. What's going on?
Well, Laura, when they made the decision initially, they decided that it was more important to emphasize veteran experience in trying to get to the playoffs this season with Anthony Richardson struggling. And upon looking at Joe Flacco the last 2 weeks, they made the decision that it was better off going back to the young quarterback, continuing to grow and develop a quarterback that they believe in. They informed Joe Flacco of the decision on Tuesday. They've informed the rest of the team today. And not only did they name Anthony Richardson the starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the New York Jets, but head coach Shane Steichen named Anthony Richardson the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season. So there will be no more changes, unlike the changes that we've got the last few weeks in Indianapolis, when they have essentially made two different quarterback changes, going from Richardson to Flacco, then Flacco back to Richardson. Shane Steichen said today, that's over. They're sticking with Anthony Richardson for the remainder of the season so they can get a better idea of exactly the type of quarterback that he is and is going to be.
And look, that makes sense to me. The other interesting thing is that when they switched to Joe Flacco, Adam, the conversation was that they're sticking with him and that it was his team for a while. There weren't plans to go back to Anthony Richardson, as you know. All right, let's hear from Shane Steichen and Richardson today.
Is he a finished product? No, he's not. And it's my job to help him get there along with the rest of the coaching staff. But he's a hell of a talent. Like I've said, we've never lost faith or belief in him and his abilities. And he's shown strides. He really has. And with that being said, he will be our starter again. He's going to start this week. He's going to start the rest of the season. All right. And we're going to go from there.
I feel like there's still room for improvement, all around. But lately I've been working on consistency. That's always been a thing of mine, just trying to perfect that and just get better at that, just being consistent in all aspects. But this week and the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to focus on sacrificing more. The guys asked me to do certain things, even if I didn't feel like doing it, man, you got to do it because it's sacrificing. They're doing it, so why not do it? I feel like these past 2 weeks has definitely opened my eyes and allowed me to have the opportunity to do that and just take a deeper dive and look into myself and see what I'm really, made of. So I'm thankful for these past 2 weeks, and I'm low-key glad they happened.
Really mature there, actually. You hear him talking. We'll dive into that. Dan, just as a reminder of the recent timeline, Steichen said Sunday it was going to be Flacco. Now it's Richardson. How do you think of the way this has been managed?
I don't think it's been managed well. If I was a player in that locker room, I'd be like, well, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Are we not trying to get into the playoffs anymore because 2 weeks ago this move? Okay, so a couple things. Number one, we often take these quarterbacks in the first 10 games of their career and we say, they're good or bad, or they stink or they can't. Just remember, Josh Allen, the first 10 games of his career, was not a very good player either. And everyone said Josh Allen sucks. The only reason he's not going to win MVP this year is because of Lamar Jackson, okay? So just for everyone to understand, Anthony Richardson, in comparison to Josh, their first 10 starts, I think in specific to Anthony Richardson, so often when we talk about these young quarterbacks, we do talk about them as finished products, and we forget how much maturity matters for these guys. Like emotional maturity, professional maturity. I was thinking about it today. When Baker Mayfield came into the NFL, he was an immature punk. Now everyone's like, oh my gosh, Baker Mayfield's so good. Jared Goff didn't know what an underfront was. He had no idea where fronts were. Now he was a guy that was the hottest quarterback in football for a couple weeks. I just think that for Anthony, it's going to be so important for him to just take this as a positive challenge. But I think it's really important for Shane Steichen to the X's and O's matter, no doubt.
Yeah.
How can you get him to develop as a man, as a leader, as the quarterback of your program? For a Michael Pittman Jr., for a Mo Alley Cox, for a Quentin Nelson, to pull him along in that regard as well, because he hasn't had that. For Joe Flacco, to pull him along, forget the talent, get him to fully understand what that role is like.
And I love that you said that because you know what it's like. In college is one thing. You feel like you get a head coach and he's teaching you how to become a man. When you get to the pros, it's the guys in that locker room that show you how to be a professional and how to continue to grow, learn how to be a father, a husband, all of those unique things. And as I listened to Anthony talk, he said sacrificing more, being consistent in all areas. And I think that's the part of his game that has to continue to grow. And maybe these past 2 weeks have taught him that, where it's not just a matter of me showing up on Sunday with athletic ability and all those things. It's the preparation and professionalism throughout the course of the week.
Maybe he just didn't understand that at the NFL level. You
Well,
know,
a
and that
reminder,
doesn't make him incapable of doing it.
Dan, he played so limited in college. It was basically 13 games or so. Reminder, too, just going all the way back to that Florida staff, they were focused on other things. They were doing their best to prepare him for the NFL.
Right.
But I'm not sure that even throughout that season, anyone thought he was going as high in the draft as he did. There were just probably some big gaps in his path leading into the NFL. That matters, too, for context.
Oh, absolutely, because he's never had that development of that part of the quarterbacking. I would say this, every position but quarterback, Sunday matters the most, I feel. You know, for receivers, you may not go perform. For a quarterback, every day, you know, like has significant value to how your teammates see you.
And think about it for Richardson. You just said it, 13 games in college. And 7-6 while he was there, winning record. You get drafted 4th overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Your entire life, I was talking to Mike Tannenbaum about this. For guys where you've been that much better than all of your peers your entire life.
I think you can.
You just
show up.
And now you get to the league and it's just like, hold on, it's going to take a different level of sacrifice and attention to detail.
The last thing I'd say about this is probably the most important 7-week stretch in the last decade for the Indianapolis Colts organization.
Yeah.
There is going to be a lot when it comes to what their future looks like determined over what happens top to bottom over the next 7 weeks.